My name is Marcell Hanson, and you're listening to Small Habits, Big Changes. Let's dive in. Welcome, welcome. We are just weeks away from a new year. So what are you doing right now to prepare to make 2024 your best year yet? Your best year yet. Let's get into it now. Imagine you were set to compete in a race, and one of the officials approached you and your competitors and said, hey, we realize that it takes a while for you to get up to top speed, so we're going to go ahead and give you a few minutes head start. So, by the time you guys really start, you're going to be going full steam ahead. How's that sound? Of course, being competitive, you want every edge that you can get with integrity. If it's going to give you an advantage to get a running start, why not? And your competitors can have that as well. So if other people are getting a head start, it actually behooves you even more so if you believe it's truly a competition. So we have a few weeks left here. About, when this episode drops, we'll have about 4 weeks left before the new year. Here it is. Whatever you intend to achieve, what you're striving for in the new year, start now. Start now. Whether you want to get in better shape, you want to focus on your meal prepping, eating nutritious meals, start now. You want to focus on becoming most hydrated consistently next year, start now. This is your warm-up. You want to strengthen your bedtime routine, go to bed 9:30, 10 o'clock, start now. You want to walk every day after supper, that's your goal for the new year, start now. If it's worth doing in the new year, it's worth doing always. Now, a lot of people use the Gregorian calendar just as, really an arbitrary starting point for goals. The statistics out there are pretty staggering around how quickly people fade off of the enthusiasm of starting a new routine, trying a new activity, trying to create a new habit in the new year. This has been most popularized, demonstrated by gym memberships. Something like 76% of folks that fire up a gym membership at the start of the year when they're most excited are done by February. They've gone less than 4 times. I attribute this to a few things. One, hype, a little bit of hype. Gyms know this and really go heavy on the marketing around this time of year. But really, there's only a couple reasons, maybe even boiled down to one. But either your why, the reason for you doing it, is not strong enough. You have not created enough of a compelling vision to pull that off, to keep you going. And where it gets a little tricky is when your why, when the reason that you're doing it, your why, is so compelling, no matter how many times you fail, you'll always get up. If you join the gym and you go a few times and it falls off your routine, you're going to pick something else up. You're going to buy some weights and do it in your living room. If it was the commute that was in your way, if it was the time out of your day, if you figure, I cannot carve out an extra hour, I don't have it. I got kids, I got a partner, I work full time, XYZ. If your why is strong enough, you will find a way. Now, where it gets a little frustrating, and I think where people can really lose momentum unnecessarily, is ingredients. The new year, a lot's going on. First of all, you've just come off of debauchery and probably a bunch of poor behavior in the holidays. You probably drank more than you anticipated or should have, probably ate more than you anticipated or should have. You probably stayed up late. You probably attended different parties that kept you out late. And then lo and behold, New Year's Eve, if you stayed up to even watch the apple drop, the clock turn, then you've already set yourself up for a really tough new year. So what do? We back off on the gradients. Remember, taking a step toward your goal. Doesn't matter how big the step is. It matters the direction. And gradients are like baby steps. It's a euphemism. So if you're climbing a ladder, you're not going to start on the 4th rung no matter how long your legs are. I have a 36-inch inseam. I don't start on the fourth run. I might start on the second, to be honest, but never even the third step of a ladder. I start at the first or the second, the ground or the first or the second, and then I take one step at a time. So some of you that are wanting these big goals, you have very lofty, worthwhile goals that you've set for 2024. Understand that starting now gives you a running start. It gives you a little opportunity to work into your routine, work into your day routine, your night routine, how these things will come to be in the new year with more regularity. Also, going to the gym every day is not realistic if you haven't been once this year or you haven't been since January. It's not realistic to say, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week, even 4 days a week, 3 days a week. There's a lot if you've come from zero. Try 1 day a week. And when you get to the groove that you know how to get into your locker, you know where the washrooms are, you know how to rotate through the machinery, you got your favorite parking spot, then maybe up it to 2. Gradients. I also want to touch on having a bit of grace and being gentle with yourself. Don't mistake this for dropping your standards or an excuse to be lax. Last week, I called a bunch of you out on being half-assed. This is the same thing. It's not about beating yourself up because that's counterproductive. At the end of the day, that's a net negative. It is about holding yourself accountable, at being cause, at choosing what change you're going to engage in, at taking it seriously, at getting someone to hold you accountable, whether that be a coach, a consultant, a friend, a neighbor. By tracking, you're able to hold yourself accountable. Got a couple inquiries about tracking in the last week about how to track, what tracker to use. And the truth is, I use a free, downloadable, printable habit tracker from online. Yep, I have tried a number of different journals. I've nearly created my own. I've used 3 or 4 published journals, and this doesn't work. For me, I like it open face. I like it in a notebook. That notebook gets opened before I go to bed. And when I wake up in the morning, it's open to remind me I'm very successful. I have a brilliant track record on execution when things are in sight. So I leave my water glass on the counter. I leave my metric notebook open on the counter. If I want to do the laundry the next day, I pull the basket out away from the wall. If I need to take something out to the car, whether it be I don't have a car, out to the van, whether it be my gallon jug of water, or maybe it's something that I forgot in my pocket that I kept that I want to go back into the van, I put it by the front door. I think a lot of people use that one because it's hard to walk out your door and not trip over what you want to bring out or whatever. I believe in, if I can see it, then I'll remember it. It brings my awareness to it. And then whatever it's related to is activated. If it's water, I drink it. If it's a notebook, I fill it out. If it's my water jug, I take it out when I go. If it's the laundry, then I'm reminded that, oh, I was going to do that. Make sense? I think that this could be the year that you change and maybe reframe how you look at the new year. Because really, it can start anytime. You can say, as of November 29th, I'm going to start on my year. I'm going to ramp it up for these 4 weeks and then into the new year. And by the end of next year, November 29th, I'll be 1 year into my journey. You're not going to be complete. There's nothing that's going to happen that's worthwhile that's not going to continue. If you're going to start eating well, the goal is to eat well indefinitely. If you're going to start feeling better about yourself, sleeping more soundly, prepping your meals, it's probably going to happen forever. If you want to get in shape, you want to get more, you want to trim down, maybe you want to bulk up, you might change your mind, but the premise of daily hydration and movement and nutritious meals and quality sleep, it's foundational for all of human life, for the rest of our lives. And so the starting point is really just when you commit and you go, like right now. You don't need to wait because there's not going to be an end. And when you set it up that way in your mind, you want to get started as soon as possible. Now. What about now? You can go over and get a glass of water, just like the first episode 40 weeks ago. Go get a glass of water right now, preferably not from the tap. And if all you have is tap water, then put on your list for Santa to send you a basic Brita filter carafe with filters. Don't drink tap water unless it's absolutely the only thing you have. I think I said last week, or maybe it was in a discussion with someone, that I believe people do the best they can with the skills they have in that moment. That's not an excuse to do something half-ass. It's a statement that reflects the opportunity for you to go and get better. Where you're at right now is not where you have to stay unless that's what you choose. And all flat lines eventually fall. So if you think you're going to hold on to the mediocre state that you're living in now, it's not going to happen. Guaranteed. Flat lines fall. Statistically accurate. That's what happens. So to combat that, to thrive, to live your very best life, I invite you to start now. Take steps right now that move you closer to the life that you want. Not the goal that you want to achieve. Yes, that might happen, but the life that you want to live. How do you want to feel each and every day? What would light you up to do that you haven't done in a long time or ever? What do you want to try? What do you want to jump into? Where do you want to go? What do you want to leave behind? Ask yourself better questions and you will get better answers. You got to listen. Keep an ear out. The universe will respond. Always does. But you got to be aware and you need to ask better questions. I appreciate your time today. If you know someone else in your family, in your circle, in your work group that is looking to lay out some big, fat goals in the coming year, copy this link and send it over to them. Leave me a comment down below if you're on YouTube. You can join our texting community. It's a wellness community that really is nothing but altruistically of service to you. I don't spam you. I'm not selling you anything. You can send in questions. If you're struggling with a certain area of your stable table, with hydration, with exercise, with movement, with nutrition or quality sleep, I got nearly 30 years of documented experience. I've trained a lot of other people on how to better their lives, coached thousands of people on how to implement healthy habits into their household. It's up to you to practice them. I can give you all the information and it's fairly straightforward for you to prove to yourself it works, but you still have to do it. You still have to do it. And in order to do it, you need to want it. So why do you want it? Maybe you're happy just being a cog in the wheel, like 80% of the population of North America. Maybe that's good enough for you. I don't have any judgment about that. Everything's relative, so just makes me look better. Kidding. But honestly, if you want an exceptional life, you need to take exceptional action. If you want more than what you have now, more health, more wealth, more happiness, then you need to take more action. You need to do more in accordance, in alignment with what you want. In integrity, being ethical, having grace, being grateful, documenting, tracking your progress, acknowledging your growth, gradients, baby steps up the mountain. Before you know it, you're going to start to enjoy the climb. And when you get to the peak, the vista is sick, just stunning. And you know what's up there? More mountains. It's never ending. And that is the blessing. It's a blessing to be alive right now. So you have the opportunity to climb. Continue climbing. It's the name of the game. Do more, be more, learn more, give more. Keep climbing. Until next time, be awesome. Thank you so much for listening today. If you feel any part of this episode resonated with you, then please consider sharing it with a friend who may also find value in it. And remember to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And before you go, did you know we have a fantastic free text community? If you want more bite-sized health hacks and reminders delivered directly to your phone, absolutely free, then text keyword YES to 206-483-2960. Again, that's keyword YES to 206-483-2960. And we'll see you on the inside.